Symptoms of autism are very variable and can be quite different even in identical twins with the disorder. Of course, they have to have the core features of language dysfunction, social dysfunction, and restrictive repetitive behaviors. But on top of that, there can be a wide variety of symptoms.
We're talking a little bit about the signs and the symptoms of depression. There's a lot of physical complaints about depression. People get really sluggish. They really get headaches, backaches, and anxiety goes very close. It's very closely connected to depression. People will talk to them and they'll start to fidget and they'll start to get really uneasy and they're just not sure exactly why they're feeling uneasy. So that's something to look for, that anxiety and that little bit of irritability that comes with not being able to be calm like they were before. So look for physical ailments.
Firsthand, the problems you're experiencing and what brought you here today.
Well, like you said, my sleep has been a problem. I'm always tired.
Always tired.
Always. My energy is very low. I can't seem to get up out of bed in the morning, and that's become a problem with my job. I'm always calling out sick, and physically, I'm not sick. It's just, I feel very sad and depressed pretty much all the time.
Dr. Setliff, what causes eating disorders?
The truth is that it's actually very complicated. We know that eating disorders run in families. We know that, yes, the media play a part, but also temperament of a child, personality of a child, and family dynamics. People don't know a lot about them, and so people most of the time don't know that they have a higher mortality than any other psychiatric illness. So while they're not the most common, the number of people that don't recover from them, of all the people who get them, is quite high.
So what are the warning signs?
You need to look for any sort of weight loss that hasn't been explained by another medical problem. Seems to be avoiding eating with his or her family, exercising every day in kind of a driven way, and also has mood changes, because mood changes are kind of common in children and adolescents with eating disorders.
It's hard to deny that our prevailing standard of beauty puts a premium on being thin. But for many young people, losing weight has become a dangerous, life-threatening obsession.
I always associate happiness with being skinny.
Can intensive therapy free Erin from self-imposed starvation?
Sometimes I'm angry that I have to eat, but I know that it's their job, so I try to just avoid feeling the anger.
Will Abby find a way to stop her violent cycle of binging and purging?
Typically I eat the whole box, and I can't get it in fast enough. It's a serious addiction.
And will Brian finally get the support he needs when he tells his family about his dangerous dieting patterns?
You know that meal you just made me? I threw up after I ate that meal. What are you going to say that could benefit me?
And you never really talk about it like that.
Right now, an astonishing 12 million Americans suffer from eating disorders. And we're about to see if Erin, Abby, and Brian can overcome these isolating and often misunderstood mental illnesses that have caused severe changes in their eating behavior.
I could binge on anything. Oh my gosh.
That's next on True Life, I Have an Eating Disorder.
You yell at me for nothing. Absolutely nothing. Shut up, let me respond to that.
Do not tell me to shut up.
Okay, then you don't tell me to shut up. I'm really doing just about everything I can to prevent what's happening, but it's not enough. You accuse me of trying to kill you with a phone. I never tried to kill you with a phone.
And I would never say that you tried to kill me.
Yes, you did.
I'm sure that I said that you tried to hit me with the phone.
You called the cops and said that my son, he's trying to kill me with the phone. He threw the phone at me. He tried to kill me.
That's interesting, because that's not my recollection of the situation.
Okay, good. That's a step. You admit that you don't remember. Okay, you don't remember things. She treats me like I am a piece of shit. No, yeah, you got my attention, but I'm not a dog.
So why don't you heed my suggestions of stop it when I ask politely?
Because you're not the complete boss of me. I control my body. I control what I do.
You said you're not the boss of me. I am the boss of you. When a mother says to be quiet, she's the boss of you, and you need to listen to that. Bottom line.
I never said.
When a teacher says something, she's the boss of you, and you need to listen.
Shut up! Give me a turn to speak. Fine, see? You do that to me. How does it feel? How does it feel to be told to shut up?
We've talked about it.
Let me speak. How does that feel? How does that feel?
Lewis! Mom! Mommy! Mama!
What?
Hi.
Childhood anxiety is not uniquely different than adult anxiety. If there is a primary difference, I would say it's in an area of acting out behaviors. Sometimes with children what you'll see is more of a behavior disorder, a behavior acting out, where you'll tend to see them kind of display oftentimes angry type behaviors, which in fact they're very anxious. Children will oftentimes avoid as well. So often you'll see them wanting to, or tend to create ailments, symptoms, stomach ache, nauseousness, flu-like symptoms before they go to school or before doing things that they view to be very difficult or anxious provoking. Other symptoms you oftentimes see with children is again, similar to adults, is headaches and muscle aches with no clear reason for the ache. Sleeping disorders, you tend to see with children where they have either their sleep is disturbed, meaning they have difficulty going to sleep or they wake up frequently, or sometimes just sleep a lot. A lot of fear, kind of unfounded fear, you see with childhood anxieties.
Suffering from extreme anxiety known as school phobia.
Yeah, we're joined now by Kay Mawson and her 12-year-old son Andrew, who's lived with the condition for 4 years. Now, pleased to say that you're talking to us, aren't you, Andrew, from a position of feeling better now and having conquered things. But tell us how you felt when you really was in the grip of this school phobia.
Well, it was like I just felt pain whenever I went to school or got near the school gate. I just couldn't get anywhere near it. Or when we waited in the reception, the bell went, I just completely changed.
And what do you mean by pain? Was it sort of panic or...
Panic, yeah.
Oh.
Hayden has autism. The family is here right now to kind of shed some light on what families are dealing with, what schools are dealing with, how the support system is either in place or what you see. Andre, what do you see in terms of the support system with these kinds of numbers increasing? Do you feel like schools, the community, have a better understanding, a better way of embracing and helping to support families?
Yes, I definitely do. They've come a long way. Used to be where they would put them in a room with just other special needs children that didn't give them any communication efforts or anything like that. And now most of them are mainstreamed and they're in regular classes.
Now, Hayden's in a public school. Hayden, you tell me, you know, what do you like about being in high school right now? And
at Alpharetta High School?
Yeah.
What's your favorite
Do you have great
class?
friends?
My favorite class is math.
Who's your teacher?
Miss Underwood.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
They really work well with us and us with them. One of his problems has been fire drills and just the loud sound from that and how to deal with that and, you know, going forward, and he has earplugs that he'll put in.
You're seeing that kind of movement, that Hayden, is not alone, that he has a lot of friends in the school system that have very similar needs.
He does have a lot of friends with similar needs, and at the same time, they also have a friends club, which has your typical students, your typical kids interacting with the special needs kids. And that means a lot.
For me, it's definitely essential to get on a consistent basis of being organized and being productive and exercising, because if I don't have that, it kind of throws me off. I don't get to clear my head, and it's already been a stressful day. That can be kind of hard, and it's important to keep up with those things so that I don't get depressed.
Coping skills are playing bass. That's a big one. I love music. Writing songs. Sometimes writing stories can help.
Doing things like exercising and journaling helped me so much, and then deciding that I wanted to establish myself as a mental health advocate also really helped me. I think you just need to pick out something that motivates you and makes you feel good about yourself, and really pursue that to the fullest.
I noticed it was a problem when we were freshmen in high school, and that's when we went to our mom and told her that we had a problem, and she got us help.
So then we came to Children's, and that's when everything just started to fall into place for us. We can appreciate their method, and we know the method behind what they were trying to do with us.
And we weren't happy with what we were doing. I mean, it wasn't like this eating disorder was making us happy. It was making us sad and very emotional all the time. We had goals. There was things that we wanted to do, and we couldn't do them the way we were.
It was really hard. We still struggle, but we can finally say we have a good relationship with food. So I just think that we're very strong people because we had to deal with all that.
So, we can allow ourselves to have those things that we like, but we do everything in moderation, and we're finding that happy balance in life.
What types of things do you teach parents to do in this situation?
Well, first of all, parents are the ones that are oftentimes overwhelmed. They're constantly putting out fires, they're constantly dealing with crises. So we teach them how to rebalance the family formula so that the child who has ODD isn't dominating the household. That's job number one. Number two is we oftentimes help them to pick and choose their battles. You can't fight over every single issue with a child who has ADD, or ODD for that matter, and expect to come out on top. You're not going to. So that's oftentimes parents unfortunately end up pouring gasoline on a fire when they start arguing and yelling at their child who's having a meltdown. It doesn't make things better, and often makes things worse. So sometimes it's a matter of telling parents what they need to stop doing before we then can tell them what they need to be.
I think the basis for a lot of anxiety is things that are out of our hands. For example, how people might react to something we do, what people might say, what people might do. Like, it's always this might. It's like this, they might do it, they might not. But because we're worrying about it, we focus on the negative. We focus on the worst possible outcome. But all we can control and what we need to focus on is what we can do. It's believing in yourself and being yourself. Just stop and think for a moment. What am I actually worrying about? Am I worrying about how someone might react to what I'm doing? Am I worrying about what someone might do to me when I do something? And when you can put your finger on that, turn around and say, hang on, okay, what can I do in this situation to get the best possible outcome? Focus on yourself, focus on the key parts of what you have to do to be successful in what you're doing, and then you will get the desired outcome.